Well, okay, you're a builder, but you don't build the same stuff that everybody else builds, right?
Yeah.
Like, where does it start? Where does it? Where do you get the passion and think that I'm going to build? Like, I mean, are you building sandcastles on the beach when you're a kid, and then that just evolves into Lego, and you just continue going?
So now we're trying to get. I mean, it's kind of weird because I started off my career very conventionally.
Okay.
In terms of, I went to school for accounting, graduated, worked for a big accounting firm in Houston, KPMG I made a whole year and 3 months, but I did get my CPA license at that time, and then couldn't take it anymore, so I left.
Learned all you needed to learn.
Yeah, and so just to quickly go over, moved to Panama, kind of trying to find myself type thing.
Okay.
Was introduced to traditional urbanism, like new urbanism.
On your own?
On my own.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is back in 2013.
Yeah.
Then went to the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
In Uganda, which is where I met my wife, and she's from Pittsburgh. So when we moved back, I had met a guy along my travels who was experimenting with mass wall masonry.
Okay.
That was actually in Panama. He's from the United States. And so I was introduced to traditional urbanism, and I grew up in the suburbs of Houston. So when I say traditional urbanism, I get that doesn't probably mean much to many people, though I would think it probably means something to you when you look at how Oklahoma City or Tulsa or wherever around here is built compared to what city are you from?
I'm in Yukon.
Okay. Well, no, I mean like in
the UK. Bridgend. So
okay. I mean just
Cardiff,
like
basically.
the pedestrian-oriented, walkable, mixed use, mixed income, cities as places, cities as spaces, thinking of our buildings not just as individual things, but things that create space, the civic realm, so like getting excited about building, and then just the concept of how it can shape how people go, how people live, how people function, how society functions. And then looking at the United States, well, like you're talking about where you're from, building this way, so many buildings in all over the world and around Europe are hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
And in the United States, if something makes it 100 years, we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is such a historic building.
Oh yeah. It cracks me up.
Yeah. And I would largely describe our building culture in general in the United States as, kind of a disposable building culture. We can get into that later. I don't mean everything is bad. I just mean And so that's really the concept is like, okay, what are the oldest buildings in the world all built out of? They're built out of mass wall masonry. Mm-hmm. And mass wall, I know, like for people listening, that just means, when you see a brick house or stone house in the U.S., like really you're looking at some 2x4s with a little layer of brick on the outside, which is very different than mass wall, where the entire wall is just one mass wall of brick or stone. So really, it's just about how thick it is. I use the words that mass wall is it's when you're using masonry in wide enough ways that it becomes self-stabilizing, self-supporting.
Right.
It's like stacking up Legos. If you just stack up one, it's really flimsy. But if you stack up 3 or 4, it's very substantial.
Yeah.
So building things that last. That's kind of the inspiration behind it.